¿Qué pasa, peña? Una vez más aquí estamos en el canal y tenemos para vosotros hoy un vídeo que os va a encantar. Veréis, Path of Exile lanzó recientemente un nuevo gameplay del mercenario y este juego que tendrá una beta abierta, creo, si no me equivoco, en el verano de 2024, va a ser brutal. Y esto es por el motivo por el cual va a destrozar totalmente a Diablo 4. Vamos a verlo. Porque no tiene pérdida. Vale, estamos en español. Esto es alucinante, alucinante, tío. Si ven, por cierto, el juego tiene movimiento con el WASD, que es muy importante, ¿eh? Por tanto, puedes enfocarte a luchar con el ratón y moverte con las teclas, con el teclado.
When thinking about each new class, we really try to think about how we can make combat feel different from all the others. For the mercenary, that difference is the crossbow. A crossbow is fundamentally different than a regular bow because it fires instantly instead of needing to be drawn back.
Claro.
This means that you need immediate feedback. Clicking the fire button should make the character shoot instantly, just like in a shooter. As soon as we experienced that, we realized that there are a lot of design lessons to learn from shooters, and so we fully embraced them. In Path of Exile 2, we have crossbows that work like sniper rifles, shotguns, and assault rifles. But in order to really get shooter-like gameplay, we wanted to go further. In Path of Exile 2, we now support WASD movement. You can now walk around in any direction independent.
Vamos a ponerlo en 4K, por cierto. Que no sabía en dónde estaba,
In fact, if this is your preferred method of gameplay, you can use it on any class, regardless of what weapon type you're using. You can change between click to move or WASD at any time.
WASD, tíos. Esto es un juego de RPG, es increíble,
Path of Exile 2 is
importante.
all about interesting combinations of abilities, and this is where ammo skills come in.
Habilidades de munición,
This is a burst shot crossbow, and right now I have armor-piercing ammo equipped, which makes it very effective when facing a group of enemies, since it pierces right through them.
Bloody horrors!
But there are other ammos too. For a bigger, single target, it might be a good idea to switch to incendiary. The more projectiles hit the target, the stronger the ignite, so you'll want to get up nice, close and personal with this one.
Es que
if you have a bunch of targets running at you might
son
want to slow them down.
buenísimos.
In this case, you could switch to permafrost burst shot. Shooting a bunch of smaller enemies at range will chill them, and potentially even freeze them in place.
Nice. Qué buena.
Once you have some frozen enemies though, you can switch back to armor piercing. Shooting a frozen enemy with armor piercing burst shot will explode the ice, doing a huge amount of damage to all nearby enemies.
Sí, puedes combinar las diferentes municiones también. Tienes fuego, tienes
Another feature
hielo
crossbows have is
y
attachments.
atraviesa armadura.
This is a grenade launcher. As you can see, when I equip it, it appears on the underside of the crossbow. These attachments are just like skill gems, so you effectively get extra skill slots, and you can augment these with support gems, just like regular skills.
Wow. Qué buena. Esta clase es muy chula,
These grenades take a while to explode, so it's a good idea to pair them with some kind of crowd control, like permafrost burst shot.
Está guapo. Nice.
We have other grenades too though. This attachment is a flash grenade. It does barely any damage, but it does a huge amount of stun. It can be a great opener before you run into combat.
Surprise!
Now, here's another attachment, an oil grenade. Firing one of these grenades coats the ground and nearby enemies in oil.
De aceite.
Oil slows enemies down, so it's another useful crowd control mechanic.
Claro, para controlarlo. Y después utilizas fuego, como te puedes imaginar, y hace explosiones, ¿no?
Now, another thing that oil can do is be set on fire. Any burning enemy or explosion will ignite the oil, causing extra burning damage.
Claro. Es que, imagínate, tantos subsistemas que tiene este juego que en Dark Souls, en Diablo es que no hay.
This means that if enemies have armor, then it will be very effective preventing that damage.
Claro.
But thankfully, you can equip an additional crossbow in your second weapon set to deal with the weaknesses of your primary weapon. This is a rapid shot crossbow. Rapid shot is great for closing on enemies because you can shoot while running. In Path of Exile 2, we now have the ability to allow you to use some skills while moving. Being able to create skills like this opens up a lot of new design space and allows us to really increase the pace of combat.
Qué buen movimiento, macho. ¿Has visto? Es un movimiento. Las animaciones es que son impresionantes. Parece que estoy viendo, no sé, un Dark Souls en vista isométrica,
Armor-piercing
¿no?
version of Rapid Shot slowly erodes a monster's armor. Once the armor is fully broken, you can easily switch back to Burst Shot to deal much more damage.
Y esto, por cierto, será un free to play, ¿eh? Será un free to play. Imagínate eso. ¿Eh? Free to play. Tremendo, macho.
Being able to run while shooting with Rapid Shot is also great for when you want to perform a fighting retreat.
Reload!
Using permafrost ammo with Rapid Shot is also useful if you need to retreat. When you shoot the ground, it creates ice crystals.
Nice.
If you draw monsters back over these crystals, they explode, chilling the monsters. It's great if you want to set up a safe zone before pulling the next pack.
Wow. O sea, después hasta puedes tener lo que sea un toque estratégico, un toque
Slowing
táctico.
enemies down can come in handy if you want to use the incendiary version of Rapid Shot. Using this skill requires that you charge up a little bit before it fires. But as it continues to heat up, it will do more and more damage.
Wow, daño de fuego constante. Eso como lo
It
que
has a
sea
really
una
large clip
metralleta.
size, so you can just keep firing and firing with it. But the other really useful feature is that when the crossbow is heated up, it adds extra fire damage to any grenade that you launch.
Qué guapo.
Now I've been using explosive grenades here, but it will work equally as well with flash or oil grenades too. If you use it with oil grenades, the oil will catch fire immediately.
Claro. Tantas combinaciones, es impresionante. O sea, puedes crear tu estilo de fuego como te plazca, ¿no? Si quieres ser incendiario, total, pirómano prácticamente. O si quieres ir dios del hielo, o sea, es lo que tú quieres prácticamente, es lo que te interesa, ¿no? Y puedes cambiar inmediatamente de tipo de
Another crossbow type
munición.
that you can find is Power Shot. This one works just like a classic sniper rifle. Use it with armor-piercing ammo and it will penetrate armor on targets. So it's a good idea to use when something's really tough.
Triple francotirador. Y también atraviesa a los enemigos, ¿eh? Guapo.
Now this skill has another interesting interaction with armor break. If an enemy has its armor broken, then your power shot hits a weak spot and does a huge amount of single target damage,
Nice.
with a bunch of extra stun for good measure.
Bullseye!
Qué guapo.
Now, the incendiary version of Power Shot is more like a rocket launcher. It does a big explosive blast at a distance.
Lanzacohetes. Madre mía, qué guapo. Es que claro, ahí está el tema, o sea, con este tipo de combates que nunca te puedes aburrir, porque es que puedes montarte tantas combinaciones que
One of the really
flipas.
useful features of this version is that you can explode any grenades that happen to be on the ground.
Wow. Tremendo.
This combo also works really well with Incendiary Rapid Shot. I'm going to charge up the heat on my crossbow, shoot out a bunch of grenades, and then start the fireworks with a Power Shot.
Madre, qué guapo. Tremendo.
The
Esta
ice version of Power
clase
Shot creates
parece muy
frost
chula,
walls at a distance. This is great for crowd controlling monsters in tight passages.
Esta clase y el monje me van a encantar, eh.
The wall segments have other uses too. If they get destroyed by monsters, then they will explode, doing a small amount of damage.
Block him in!
Claro, puedes crear lo que sería una especie de muralla y después les atacas si es que como les
Now,
bloqueas el
remember
paso,
that
¿no?
burst shot combo with frozen enemies we did earlier? That works with ice walls too. Let's put burst shot back on.
First shot. Vale, a ver.
Now I can fill up this area with ice walls, then shoot them with armor-piercing burst shot for a huge amount of damage.
Nice. Joder. Tanta combinación, macho, es increíble. Qué fuerte. Qué fuerte.
Alright, it's time to face the boss for this area. Let's see how we fare against her with all the skills I've shown you so far.
El jefe del área, a ver qué tal, eh. Okay.
Not letting you anywhere near him.
Stay still, the mother!
No.
My dear child!
Whoa.
By the gods. Rapid fire.
O sea, esto es lo que sería una batalla de jefe, como puedes ver. Mucho más interesante. Madre mía. Es que hasta parece una pelea de Dark Souls, ¿no?
Eat this. Piercing shot.
Y nice.
What have you done?
Oh, casi se muere el tío, casi se muere.
Freeze.
Dismember!
Ah, con alas.
What is going on in this god's-forsaken city?
And that's the mercenary.
Impresionante, macho,
It feels totally different than
impresionante.
anything we've made before, and shows you the range of what's possible in Path of Exile 2.
Impresionante. Esto es Path to Exile 2, chavales. O sea, vamos a ver. Será un juego free to play, como el Path to Exile primero, que tendrá, obviamente, podrás comprar con mis cosméticos, expansiones, tal y cual. Pero lo que será el juego será free to play, prácticamente. Y es que lo que estamos viendo aquí mismo es una calidad tremenda, pero tremenda, flipante. Increíble. Sin palabras. O sea, esto es impresionante. Blizzard no es capaz de hacer esto. Blizzard con su equipo y con su dineral y brutal no son capaces de crear un juego de action RPG que no sea que sea divertido. Porque lo que sería Diablo 4 lo he jugado, me lo he pasado, pero es que simplemente es un aburrimiento después de incrementar de nivel, porque es que desde el nivel 30 o 40, puede posiblemente hasta el nivel 100 es casi lo mismo, repetición absurda. Mucha variedad, por lo menos lo que he visto, impresionante. Bien, pues nada más, gente, como siempre digo, puede que tengas una opinión diferente, que la respeto, como siempre digo, cada cual con su cosa. Si te encanta Diablo 4, pues hombre, adelante, disfrútalo, juégalo. Yo personalmente cuando salga este juego me olvidaré completamente del Diablo 4 porque es que tiene una calidad y unos gráficos más bonitos, animaciones más pulidas, el tipo de combate, los tipos de clases son tan únicas, diferentes, avanzadas. Me encanta. Y bien, pues nada más, nos veremos como siempre en los siguientes vídeos. Hasta pronto.